Shrikant Chouhan, technical analyst at Kotak Securities, is now joining us. Shrikant, good morning. What is the sense that you're getting for the markets? You think a near-term range has been slightly on the upside now, 8100 to 8300. That's where we are likely to stay.
Good morning, Pankaj. I think the way the Nifty is spanning out since last almost 5 days, it is very clear that it is waiting for that event to get unfold. It is in the range of 8300 and 8000 on the downside. If you go through with the open interest positions on the option segment, then there also you can see that at 8300 levels almost 60-65 lakh shares are outstanding, and on the downside at 8000 levels put positions are very close to some 75 lakhs. So one thing is very clear that till this particular range is not market is taking out, I think the market is going to spend some more time, and the way world markets are like volatile, I think we are going to remain in a range of maybe 8050, 8100 on the downside and 8250, 8220 on the higher side. So today I'm of the view that in case if there is any, yes, definitely in the short term we are of the view that we are heading for 8220, 8250, because yesterday there was a panic kind of day. The market was down by almost 100 points, 120 points at one point of time, and from there it recovered. So again the chances are very bright that if there is any further more uptick in the market in today's date near the opening of European markets, then we may see the levels of maybe 8220, 8230 on the higher side. But the overall trend, the broader trend, on the broader trend we are like specifically bullish, because when the recovery has happened, I mean to say whatever the recovery that we have seen in last 5 months of time, we have seen that recovery out of capital goods and engineering, metals, PSU banks and metals. So overall like this particular trend is like unique, because in 2015 most of the time whenever we have seen recovery, that time outperformers were pharma, IT and FMCG. But this time capital goods and engineering is also adding to the space. So net we are of the view that I think the markets have already seen its worst. 7900, 7000 maybe 800 is going to act as a very strong support for the market for next couple of weeks, months. And if there is any fall after this event, I think investors are ready to pour their money. So even if there is a fall because of any reason, we should look for adding long positions. But for traders, our advice is that currently the market is in the range, and do not try to take breakout calls. Try to go for contra calls of going short around 8250 and of going long around 8050 with a stop at 8000.
So broadly the markets will be in a range.
Broadly the market, yeah, to remain in a range till the unfold of this particular event on 23rd or 24th of June.
Right. How would you look at something like a metal pack Hindalco? Now that's a name that people did not like, but after the results it has done very well, got to a 52-week high of 120. Is it now coming into a buy zone? Upsides from here can be quite significant.
Pankaj, if you go through with the relative outperformance of Hindalco, then it is almost 80% higher from its bottom of some 65-70 on the downside. In fact, it is the most outperforming stock in the Nifty basket. After that, followed by Vedanta. So,
and then followed by Tata Steel.
Tata Steel also, but Tata Steel is still like because of news flow and event flow, it is not performing as much as Hindalco and Vedanta. I think even if you go through with monthly and weekly pattern of this particular pattern of Hindalco, then I'm of the view that it is heading for some 140, 150 kind of levels. But currently at 120, it looks like that it is overbought and it's not over retraced. Some few days back when it was at 100 levels, it was over retraced. But this time people are like taking positions, they are interested in buying. So around I think close to these levels, 120 levels, one should be cautious. At least short-term traders should be cautious while adding long positions. But if there is a medium to long-term view, or if somebody like stuck at higher levels, because most of our investors, they have bought at 140, 150 levels, and after that the stock has fallen vertically. So for them our advice is that to just hold on to their positions, sit on it for next at least a few months. I think the stock is going to show some major levels.
Say if somebody has missed this rally from 90 to 120, what will be the advice now as the view is higher? At what level they should look to buy and what should be a stop loss?
I think if like somebody really wants to take a long call with a view of next 6 to 8 months, then you should look for adding positions even at current levels and more on dips, because see, it is very difficult to say that whether the stock will correct to the level of 100 or not. But if you start buying from current levels, then if there is any fall, then also like you can add more to that positions, because finally the sector is performing. Finally, if you go through with the outperformance of Brazil, Bovespa, then it is also the outperforming index out of this top 10 world indices. So So one thing is very clear that commodities catching up with a lot of news flow as well as a lot of attraction is there. A lot of stocks are trading below their important and resistance long-term support levels. So we are going to see some more upside in next few months of time. So yes, one should look for adding at current levels more on dips.
Right. Similar view for Vedanta as well?
Yeah, Vedanta also looks like a strong bet to buy for, and it is into same formation. But yes, if you like really wants to choose one out of these two bets, then Hindalco is the best bet to buy for.
Right. Last time I remember when we spoke about Tata Steel. Tata Steel was also one of the big outperformers that time. In fact, Hindalco, Vedanta did not do well. And you were very clear that, one may not buy at 330 levels, but there's no reason to short or there's no reason to go negative onto these names. Now, do you think when it is consolidated for a while between this range, can one now start to pick up positions on the buy side?
Yeah, like if you really want to take investment call of next 6 to 8 months, because it is into news flow, and that is why our advice is that you should look for adding the stock only to the positional long portfolio with a view of 6 months. Because of this news flow, the stock may remain under pressure. I think the stock is having very good resistance around 355, 360 levels. But if I just want to see this market after say 6 months or 8 months of time, then I am of the view that Tata Steel is going to outperform in this space, because after this closure of the event or news flow, we can see massive run up in this particular stock. Currently the stock is definitely out of woods, but the short term trend of the stock is showing range bound activity. Currently it is at the upper range of the range at 330, 335. If there is any weakness in the market or this particular stock, then this stock can slide to the levels of 300 or 305. So there is a scope of 5%, 7% decline even from current levels. So it is better to stay away for short-term traders, but for long-term traders, certainly it's a strong bet to buy for.
Right. How would you look at SBI? Last when we spoke, it was around the 170, 180 mark. Results were not yet out of the way. How would you look at SBI at 215?
I think, see, the broader call for PSU Bank is positive. And why? Because if you go through with Nifty PSU Bank index, then there is clear-cut technical breakout. And if you go through with that breakout pattern, then about 2590, the next level to watch out is between 2950, 3000. So it means that almost 10% appreciation that we can expect out of Nifty PSU Bank index. And if it is true, then we can expect 10 to 15% minimum returns out of all these stocks which are contributing in this particular index. See, I'm not considering them as a high beta stocks because the way they have shown their performance, but certainly if the Bank Nifty start performing, I mean to say PSU Bank Nifty starts performing, then State Bank is definitely going to do well. And in that space, in that particular case, we can see the levels of maybe 235, 240 on the higher side. Currently, it is at the 40% retracement of its entire fall. So maybe at 220, 218, 220 levels, the stock is going to find some selling pressure or some liquidation of long positions. Maybe some creation of short position also is not ruled out. But if there is a view of again next at least 2 to 3 weeks, then we should look for adding this stock even at current levels. I am of the view that after the closure of this event, we can again expect activity out of all these PSU banks and capital goods and engineering stocks.
Right. How would you look at PNB in that context? I mean, again, if you look at percentage wise, right from the levels of 70 to 90, so it's been 30% move versus some of the other names like SBI, which has just given 10-15% move. Is PNB looking better, or it's just that it was a favorite short, so even the upside movement was very high?
No, not at all. One should not look for taking any short positions on PNB, because the most promising part on this particular for PNB is that it has formed double bottom when other stocks have formed lower bottom in this particular space. So if you go through with the overall pattern of PNB, then there are also lot of scope and lot of potential to make money if there is a medium to long term view. Currently it is at 93, 94 levels, but I am of the view that it is heading for minimum 120, 125. And again, if you want to take the few names from the PSU basket, then I think State Bank, PNB, Bank of India and Bank of Baroda are 4 important stocks which are showing technical breakout, technical bullish formations, as well as if you go through with the overall pattern on long term basis, then there also we are expecting some more upside, I'm to say substantial upside even from current levels.
Right. From the non-FNO space, do you track Max Financials on charts? It's up 16% today, and if I'm not wrong, it's been one of the big performers. Do you think on a portfolio basis this will continue to give returns? It's of course not a trading stock, but is that a name that you're looking at? It's up 49% in the last 3 months.
Pankaj, no, I have not seen this particular stock.
Right. Let's look at some other names, some other spaces which are largely looking quite interesting. So something like a Tata Motors, 460 right now. How would you look at that? You think that Brexit, of course, Brexit will have an impact. They have a lot of operations in GBP. But overall, you think that's the worry over there again? Once Brexit is over, whatever may be the outcome, it can give a breakout further from here on?
See, the overall pattern of Tata Motors is very strong and bullish. But we are of the view that we should look for adding Tata Motors DVR to our portfolio. Yes, certainly both the charts are like both the stocks are showing the same kind of pattern. But if you really want some outperformance on your portfolio, then we should look for adding Tata Motors DVR. Currently, I think it is at 460, 470 resistance level, and it is maybe waiting for that event to unfold. But if there is any fall because of that particular event, then I think investors and those who really wants to take long-term bets, they are going to buy this stock. Even if you go through with the short-term pattern of this particular stock, then I think the stock has already corrected. Tata Motors has already corrected to its important levels of 440, and from there the stock is rebounding. So net, if there is a really somebody wants to take a contra bet of going long in this market, if even goes positive and all, then even at current levels they should look for adding the stock to their short-term as well as medium-term portfolio.